Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I wanted to do this video. It might be pretty long, only because there's a lot that I just heard of. Subjective Reviews just did a video. I just heard from Chris Wong. I was gonna listen to Film God, but it seems like there's some real positive buzz going on in the Snyder Cut movement, and I want to give you guys my opinion about it. Jim Lee made a speech at a comic expo about the Snyder Cut, and I think it is a positive. To me, it seems very positive. I could give you a little bit more of the negative, but from what he's talking about, it is positive. It's very positive, and it also should open your eyes to the fact of what WB thinks about the Snyder Cut movement on its own. Now let's get into some of the nitty gritty. Now, over the weekend, Zack Snyder celebrated his birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Snyder! I hope that you have a great. Hope you had a great weekend and a great birthday. Hope you and your family are able to celebrate and have a great day on the celebration of your birth. He made a couple announcements. They now reduced all the posters down to four winners, and he made a huge bomb on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter anymore, like I said. To me personally, it's a very toxic place, and I personally rather just keep myself away from it. But whatever information that Chris Wong or Subjective Reviews or even Common Movie Marks or anybody else can give, I'll listen to it just to give you guys my personal opinion of what they're trying to say. Now, he made a huge startling revelation about what the prize is, and it seems that what Zack Snyder said is that his principal photography is done, but I don't think the film is done. And what I mean is that he feels that there are some pickup shoots that he needs to finish to clean up certain things and also add in elements. And oh, that's my cat. Hold on. Yeah, that's my cat. Sorry about that. Now, there's some pickup shoots that needs to be done. So I believe that okay, just making sure she's over there. I don't want her walking around my computer. Sorry about that. Um, that there are some pickup shoots that needs to be done, as I stated before 3 times already. Sorry about that. But there's also some pieces that need to be put into the movie to make certain elements make sense. Because we got to realize that he's doing a 5-part movie in 3 movies basically. So there's a lot of story elements that he feels that needs to be instead of okay, that some story elements that he can't flesh out, but he's able to condense into a probably about a 5 minute exhibition story, so you get an understanding about what the heck has been going on. So I think that's what he's trying. That's what he's alluding to. So the movie, from what he originally on the what he originally filmed is done if you try to think of it, but a movie is not completely done once its post production is done. So his film so and we all know that there's also pickup shoots that they add into the budget that actually needs to be placed in. But what the other management of WB is, they doubled their budget so they can actually refilm everything and then add in the pickup shoots at the same time. So instead of it being around 150 million or around 130 million, it ballooned up to 300 million, which actually completely destroyed everything. And then they tried to market it as Zack Snyder's movie, which in all honesty, that's not the right way to do it. So it kind of destroyed a lot of the credibility we all thought about what WB was really doing. So what Zach is trying to allude to is that there's certain things he wants to put in the movie. Now, one of the things he's kind of alluding to is he wants to put in that Martian Manhunter scene. So there's a scene that we saw on a storyboard that he put out that we found out that Lennox was Martian Manhunter. Now, we don't know if he's always been Martian Manhunter or he basically just showed up and basically the Harry Lennox is not in that scene. Like, he's not really there. And he just took the place of Henry Lennox just for that scene. We don't know because he's a shapeshifter. He could be anybody. So I think that we can't jump the gun that thinks that Henry Lennox has always been until Zack Snyder literally puts it on film and explains it. So that's a really good positive. I mean, if there's some pickup shoots that he can get Ben back, he can get the whole cast back, and do some pickup shoots to flesh out that story, that would be monumentous. I think that in my honest opinion, now we've heard that Ben says he is done with Batman. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He wants to move forward. I personally believe that Zach is going to talk to him last. I think he wants to get everybody else, lock them all in, even Henry. And I think Henry's more than willing. He's like, hell yeah, let's do it. But Ben is going to be the bigger sell because of all the meddling. But I think that Zach is going to tell him like, no, we're just doing pickup shoots, and you could be done with this role. And I think that he will do it. I think he will do it for the fans, and he will do it for himself to believe that he could have been this great character without all that past baggage that was going on behind the scenes. So I think it's gonna be a gigantic middle finger to everybody that's been meddling on that film if he comes back. It's a gigantic middle finger because we know that he got chased off of the Batman film because of past management. Now we don't. Again, we can all assume certain things that certain things. Like heck, I assumed there's a lot of things. Like I said, it's all my head canon. However, looking back at some of the timeline that's been going on, that's how we can understand what the possibility could have happened. Now we were not the fly in the room. I wasn't the fly in the room. I don't know how Jeff Johns angered Ben Affleck, or I don't know if they were really good friends and he just basically and Jeff Johns was looking out for him. We don't know. But we also do know that Jeff Johns was talking to other directors while he was trying to get this film going. We don't know if that was Jeff Johns, or we don't know if that was Kevin Zahara and Toby Emmerich. We don't know, or if it's all three of them. We don't know. So until somebody does a huge documentary and gets all this information and people are willing to talk about it, then we can only speculate. And I'd rather for us to just at the meantime just speculate, but don't put down as pure hardcore fact until we get hardcore facts. Um, but Zach is also trying to do the Martian Manhunter scene, and I think he might even try to do more scenes to add in for Darkseid. So again, we don't know. I don't know. But what he's saying is the prize is that the person who wins, if these shoots do happen, they're going to be there and they're going to be able to go use the little device. So that's going to be awesome for that person. And I extend my huge congratulations to that person. That is awesome. You get to have pictures and everything with Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill and Ezra Miller and Ray Fisher and Jason Momoa. And even if Ben Affleck comes back, Ben Affleck, you get to hang out with if Jeremy Irons is there, or we don't know. So that's gonna be really really cool. Next, the Jim Lee situation. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in a pretty damn good way because he was at a comic expo, and I wish I can let you guys listen to it, but I got a huge strike because of my Batman video, and I was actually utilizing the I didn't show the picture, I had the sound, and then I got struck down by WB themselves. So I pretty much muted it. So if you guys saw that video and all of a sudden out of nowhere it muted the whole music, I apologize. I rather for it to become more free use. And once that does, you guys will probably be hearing it more than I will. But I will revisit this once this becomes a little more free use and people are able to utilize it. This is my first strike. I said no, I'm not going to be dealing with it. I am a pretty small channel, so I didn't want to fight the strike because, in all honesty, it's not free use. But if WB is trying to fight that to keep it more contained, then hey, that more power to them. Um, but it's fine. And once we get further and further into production, and we hear a little bit more of the music, and it becomes more free use, then I'll revisit the music because Michael Giacchino blew my mind with that music. I was astounded. I still want to hear that music again. So I'm very happy about that. That might actually get me hyped for the movie, just the music alone. I want to see how they do it now. So that's about the strike. I'm very sorry about that. If you guys heard that and they got muted out of nowhere. Now, one piece is the whole Jim Lee. Now he was at a comic expo and someone mentioned about the Snyder Cut, and he made what I would call a middle of the fence, but he was also positive about it. He wasn't negative, and he stated that. He said that it depends on how I inflict how I say the Snyder Cut. Now, if I say this word Snyder Cut, now the media is gonna jump all over and says Jim Lee talked about the Snyder Cut. How did he say that? How did he say it? Did he say positive? Did he say negative? Did he bring hope and optimism to it, or did he just completely destroy it and flatten out the movement? And what he said is actually what I know WB and DC are doing. One, they're not fighting the movement anymore. They're not fighting it. It's causing more negative press than anything else because the more they keep fighting the more they keep fighting the movement and us as a whole, the more Zack Snyder brings out those cryptic messages. More that Jason Momoa starts doing their thing. As you notice, they don't fight that much anymore. And look at Jason Momoa and Zack Snyder. They're just talking. They're just bringing out little things here and there. Just Jason Momoa has not said a word, and he said he's seen it and it's sick. So we got that whole thing. So I think that WB is now noticing with Ann Sarnoff and Walter Hamada. Toby Emmerich is most likely out of the picture. I think that he's completely out of the picture. I think that he's handling other day-to-day affairs, but he has no relevance to the DC property. I think he's on other WB properties, and they're not having him there because he's trying to fight this movement to try to showcase that everything was okay and we did the right better decision. No, you didn't. We all know this, and I don't want to beat a dead horse about it. But what I think that they did very well, I think what Jim Lee did very well is he said that it doesn't matter if you guys were a part of the movement or you liked the Snyder Cut or you don't like the Snyder Cut or you liked what we were doing or you didn't like what we were doing. We want to bring everybody into the fold. We want to bring the people that loved what Zack Snyder was doing. We want to give them a piece of that DC action. The people that want that hope and optimism that Jeff Johns was talking about. We want to give them that. We want to give everybody certain elements of DC that will bring them all together because no matter what, you're all DC fans. We don't want to isolate anybody away. And I think that in all honesty, that's a nice rib to Marvel because Marvel is doing everything they can to try to appease everybody. And it just makes everybody go, what the heck are you doing? You're appeasing too many people without appeasing the comic book fans. The comic book fans are the ones who are going to spend the millions and millions, the hundreds of dollars to buy the products. They're the ones that are going to buy all the comic books. They just want to see their superheroes doing superhero things. They don't want to see the same rhetoric over and over and over and over and over again. The people that are loving what Marvel's doing, they're the casuals. They're the normies. They're the ones that don't care. They don't care. Hence why they don't fight what they're trying to say. They're not fighting the pandering. They just want to see superhero movies. And that's why Marvel is going to, in a way, is going to start to slowly drip. If DC does exactly what they're doing, listen, it doesn't matter if you didn't like Shazam. That was made for a certain audience. It doesn't matter if you didn't like Birds of Prey. That was made for a certain audience. You don't have to basically destroy those movies just to prove your point that you want Zack Snyder stuff. That's exactly what Jim Lee is trying to say. We're trying to give you what you wanted, what you want, and we're trying to figure it all out and make it into a nice gigantic whole and say this is DC. So they're giving us. So that means, if you really think about it, if you truly, truly think about it, if they decide to do a question movie, it's going to be a pulp fiction, a pulp noir, hard-boiled detective movie. It's going to be in the same vein as a Dick Tracy. It's going to be it should be a hard, not a hard R, but it should be a rated R, not a hard R, because it's just a lot of the violence and him just getting through bullets and stuff like that, and some of the physical violence. But it's not gory or anything like that. He's just a detective. He's not like a Constantine. But like if we get a Constantine movie, guess what that movie's going to be about? It's going to be demons and the sex and him smoking and the cursing and this and that. So there's a lot of things that they're trying to do to give us exactly what we're asking for. So they're appeasing the fans of the characters that they see. So that's where I see the positive. But here's the negative. That means that we're not going to get that gritty down to earth, that gritty Snyder type Superman. We're going to get that Christopher Reeve Donner Superman because that's the Superman that a lot of people want. And But I think it's very, very tricky because that's the problem. When Zack Snyder created Man of Steel, he created a huge divide right there. He created a huge divide. You have people that love Donner and want Donner, and you got the people that basically say, "Hey, this I actually really like this version of Superman. He seems more down to earth, more human." And the story made sense to what was going on. But people picked it apart instead of understanding the nuance of what he's trying to do. It takes multiple movies for us to understand the full scope of the story. And that's how Zach built that movie. And that's why I feel that Superman is going to be that very hard character to really understand. Now, people can say, well, they can easily do Supergirl. No, they can't because CW Arrowverse, they went down a dark path with Supergirl. And in my honest opinion, they wrote Supergirl completely wrong. She's a I don't want to get into that. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to get into that. But they wrote her completely. They didn't write her the right way, especially when we understand the psychology of a child comparable to what's going on. It you can't write her to be this sunny disposition character when she's still trying to feel the effects of her on a planet, and then on a planet that's basically backwards in technology. She comes from a highly technological race, very smart. She should see humanity as dumb, and it's not derogatory. It's not derogatory. It's just it's like any one of us living in a cultural civilization, and we go live in Uganda, or we go live in a fifth world country. We're gonna look at it and go, what the heck is going on? It's a massive culture shock. How are we gonna live here? It's way backwards. How are we going to be able to do technology? Some people are able to do it. They're able to go off the grid and be off the grid for months. Some people can't. Some people can't. Some people love the fact they're off the grid. They have no problems with that. There's some people who cannot live without technology. And Kara should have been one of those. And the way they wrote her is she completely acclimated to Earth like that. And it's like, no, it should never have happened that way. She should still have that lingering ego about herself that she is better than every person. So, like I said, there's a lot of things that he could have done better with Supergirl, but you don't write her as this sunny dispositioned character right off the bat because that makes no sense. She just watched her whole. Oh, my cat's playing around. She Okay, there we go. So she just watched her whole planet and her race be completely wiped out, and you're telling me that she has a sunny disposition? Whatever. Like I said, one of those things is like whatever. It's like they don't want to have tragedy in these superheroes because they don't want people to feel that they're one of them. And it's like, yeah, that's the whole purpose of DC's characters. They're gods trying to be people, regular people. Marvel is people trying to be gods. That's why people link to very easily to Marvel characters. They're regular people that are trying to be more than what they are. While DC has Batman, larger than life, a complete living weapon. Basically, this dude he is the representation of fear and rage, and he literally makes sure that the villains in his city feel the fear of wanting to do any level of criminality in his city. That's larger than life. That's way larger than life. You can be in awe of Batman, but in certain ways you can't truly understand how he feels because he's always different and he's malleable. But you can understand Bruce Wayne, but you can't understand Batman. And that's why you can feel and you can understand about Bruce Wayne because he has the weight of the city, and then on top of that the weight of the city plus the fact that him wanted to have a regular life, and he can't have a regular life because he put the weight of the city on his shoulders instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to give the money to the cops, give the high level technology to the cops, let the cops handle it. But he feels that the cops are inadequate. There's too much corruption in the city. All this power has to be to one man. While Superman feels that all this power needs to be to him until he feels he's ready to share it. Batman doesn't feel that way. He says, no, people corrupted. Simple as that. Done. So it's just how you feel from the characters, and that's what Jim Lee is trying to do. He's trying to state that how we all love the Joker movie, all Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. He wants to give us more of that. That really dark, gritty Joker type of movie. He wants to give us the the Batman. Like the Batman is good. Like Matt Reeves' Batman is gonna be a pulp noir type of story that's a detective based story. Okay, that's how he's gonna make it, and that to a lot of fans, it's gonna be really cool. But here's the thing: if it's not action packed, people are gonna get bored, and that's what my biggest fear is about Batman. People don't. People only resonate to the Batman from the Dark Knight or what Zack Snyder did or from the Tim Burton slash Joel Schumacher movies. They don't know about a more story oriented Batman that has not much action. It's boring to them. It really is. It can be very, very boring. And I'm hoping that he does a good firm middle and people can actually get behind it. If he does it right, if Matt Reeves does it very, very well, which I'm more behind. I'm just but not behind a lot of the casting choices. That's just me. But the story, I'm behind Matt Reeves on it. I'm just hoping that he just keeps it at a good firm middle where you're getting good enough action that keeps the story moving forward. But there's a story there that makes it so we understand what the whole scope of what he's trying to do is, and that's all I'm hoping. So what Jim Lee is saying is exactly what I'm seeing from what DC is doing, and I know a lot of people are not getting that. They're not understanding that. They're not looking at the bigger picture. DC and WB right now know that this movement means a lot to a lot of people. And they know that they screwed over Zack Snyder. They screwed over David Ayer. They screwed over Rick. Oh my God, I forgot how you pronounce his name. He was one of the big black directors that was going to do The Flash. They know they screwed him over. They know that the previous management screwed over a lot of freaking directors and they messed over a lot of fans. Gareth Edwards is one of the biggest ones. Joel Maniello as Slade. If they can bring back him and Gareth Edwards and sign that movie and get that movie going, there's nothing they need to worry about. People are going to be on board with this. Flat. We already got The Rock starting up the going ahead to start up the Black Adam movie. So and we don't know nothing about the Flash yet. Good. Keep that under wraps. Let's find out. Let them get a damn good script that Ezra Miller is happy with, and we can move forward. The only thing that's keeping us from getting more hype is we know if Henry Cavill's sticking around. That's the biggest thing, and I've said it in my just previously. It's hard to figure out what they're gonna do with that Superman. It's very hard. And here's the thing: Henry Cavill's a really great guy, and he says that he doesn't want to do a very niche movie, which can be thrown back in his face and go, but okay, but if no one if you make the Superman that you want to do you think that's really gonna resonate with everybody? And if he says, well, it's not going to resonate with everybody, then okay, I understand that, Mr. Cavill, but you said a few years ago that we can't make niche movies. What you're saying is you're going to try to make a movie. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, and this is not trying to throw you under the bus. We want to know, what do you mean by that? Because when you said that, we understood that from the whole spectrum of Batman v Superman, and that was made niche, and so was Man of Steel. But if you make this movie, and because of what Jim Lee is talking about, do you think that now you're gonna be making a niche Superman movie? Because people are gonna want, or people are gonna want to see more of that Snyder's type of Superman. But now, are you gonna isolate out the people that want um, that more comic book version of Superman? Now that's gonna throw him that's gonna kind of throw him for a loop a little bit because now he really has to put himself where he needs to be, because he can't sit on the fence on that because we don't know what Zack Snyder was gonna do with his version of Superman. We don't know. We know that there was a portion of the film that shows him do the traditional rips open the shirt. We have the S right there. So what people are jumping the gun on is they don't know where Zack Snyder was going to lead. Sorry, excuse me. They were going to lead him to become. He was going to become that version of Superman that we all know. I know that. Zack Snyder is not dumb. He does things that he feels is closest to his heart. He loves Superman and he loves Batman. He loves these characters. He's not going to show them in a very, very bad light, only if it needs to the narrative of the story. Batman lost his way. He knows he lost his way when he confronts Superman. When he finally is about to do it, he realizes that he's becoming the very enemy he swore he would never become. And that's why he changed his whole thing. The whole Justice League was him as a huge. He's sorry for what he did. He basically got their greatest hero killed. He did it, not Superman. Superman's sacrifice was part of the conclusion. But the plot of the whole thing was that Batman did not think about what he was doing. He was more reacting, and then he basically didn't see the fuller scope of the story that Lex has been using him this whole time, and he forced him to go after Superman. And if Batman defeated Superman, great. If Superman defeated Batman, he would release Doomsday. He didn't care. He knew. He was like, nope, either these two kill each other, or Doomsday will kill him, or he kills Doomsday. He didn't care at that point. But he probably thought that, okay, he has kryptonite. He can kill him. Also, we don't know what type of information was popped into his head. So if him releasing Doomsday, we don't know if he had a way of saying he can kill him. We don't know if he had a way to kill him. He probably thought the same thing. Kryptonite, it messes with Kryptonian cells. So hell, he'll just use it on him. Let him rampage for a little while. He creates a device, creates a gigantic freaking a cannon out of kryptonite, and blow it right through Doomsday's chest and kill him. I mean, come on. I mean, this is Lex Luthor we're talking about. I understand. He basically did something really stupid. Why would he unleash a monster without a means to kill it? We don't know if he had a means to kill it. We don't know. Because the story was shown to be that Superman was going to kill it. That was the whole point of it. He was going to kill it. And Batman felt responsible for this. And that's why in Justice League, he put it on his shoulders to create this brand new team. And he basically said no. He wanted Wonder Woman to lead the team. He did not want to lead the team. He was tainted. He was not Batman. He wasn't Batman. But he did the job. That's why he says, concentrate on the job. Concentrate on the job. That's what Batman would always say. But he did not want to lead that team. He wanted to leave it to Wonder Woman. She was the epiphany of what Superman is. He knows. He's not dumb. Batman's not dumb either. So that's why I was like, wait a minute. Look at the fullness of the story. That is why Zack did it the way he did it. He wanted Superman to be a confused superhero with the powers of a god. He feels, okay, well, I'm putting the earth on my shoulders, and I'm going to basically try to save the earth on my terms. But what he was doing was he was flying all over the place, taking care of all the problems instead of helping humanity. That is the reason why Joss Whedon threw that first scene in there showing him helping the firefighters. That made no sense. If you think about it, it made no sense. It doesn't matter if you saw the lip crap. It didn't matter. The crux of that story crux of that scene made no sense. Because in all of BVS, their whole complaint was, why the heck is he doing this? Why is he just taking care of these problems? He basically came in and said, hey, no, I'm here to help. And he walked, and he's like, oh, hey, he's talking to some kids. Wait a minute. Superman did not do that in BVS. He was taking care of all the problems himself. He felt that it was his responsibility. Then this whole situation with Lex happened, and then it opened Lois and his eyes to the fact that you can't keep doing that. There's consequences for your actions. And that was the whole point of it. Consequences for actions. Think about it. Just go back and watch Man of Steel. Go watch BVS. Man of Steel was about a man trying to figure out where does he truly belong. Is he Kryptonian or is he an Earthling? He chose being part of Earth. He talked to Lennox, told Lennox he's here to help, but he's going to do it on his terms. He's not going to be doing it on the United States terms. They know he's in Kansas. I think they know he's Clark Kent. They're just not going to say anything. Leave it alone. And I think that's the reason why they did it. He did it. He did not want the world to be stupid. It's like, oh, he's Superman? Okay, whatever. Leave the man alone. But even though he was doing the things he was doing, they still could have exposed him as Clark Kent. But that would have made the situation worse. Way worse. You exposed him plus Lois Lane to the situation? If she gets killed, oh my God. They have no way of stopping him. He'll get mad. And that was the point of BVS. That if Lois ever died, he will lose it. But again, there was consequences for actions. And in Justice League, he realized that he's going to do it one more time, but he's going to fix his mistakes. And his mistakes were just doing all the stuff himself. He should be asking them, do you need help? That's how Superman always does. He flies in and says, hey, how can I help? That's why the scene when he flew in and told Bruce, okay, how can I help? He didn't say, hey, I'll take care of this and this and this and this and this. And, okay, you know what? While I'll take care of Steppenwolf while you guys. And he's like, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. We got this. We got this right here. How about you? He goes, hey, Care, how about you do this? And he said, there goes, oh, there's people. I got to help them. Really? Because that's what Superman would do. He would actually say, no, no, I got to go see those people. To me, that made no sense. I'm sorry. It made sense. It made sense. That's exactly what he was doing. He was fixing his mistakes. He saved people's lives. Hope that they take care of the situation. But that's the way the story was cruxed. That he was gonna. That basically he basically was gonna fly away like versus Superman. Superman would always do that. He would say, "Nope, people need help," and fly away. And that's what he did. And you're like, okay, well, Wonder Woman and Aquaman are holding down Steppenwolf. But in all honesty, Steppenwolf should be able to manhandle both of them. Steppenwolf he's over 5,000 years old by their account. And he's much older than that. By their account, he's over 5,000 years old, but he's way older than that. And he has battle experience, and he's strong. Wonder Woman should not be able to hold her own against him. Aquaman would be able to give him a problem, but not that big of a problem. A tuning fork versus a hatchet. I'm sorry. A two-handed freaking axe? And she's holding a gladius? I'm sorry, but no. So I said, oh, it's a sword. No, it's a gladius. It's a gladiator weapon. She's not going to hold no stupid little short sword. Greeks did not have no dinky little short swords. They made gladiuses. So that's all I'm trying to say. Is like there's a lot Jim Lee did to say about this, and there's also a lot of stuff that Zack Snyder was building, and a lot of people just did not understand, and they basically completely berated his movies, telling him he didn't know what he was doing. When how would you know when you didn't get the whole story? Well, I got the story from Justice League, but that wasn't his story. Well, yes, it was. How do you know that? Well, it says his name on it. You know that Joss Whedon is the one that basically rewrote the whole movie. So you're telling me you're gonna go from Man of Steel, BVS, his story style, his dark nature, and then you're gonna go from that to almost like a Joel Schumacher? So again, it's that Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher. You could tell the difference. You could tell the difference. Hence why a lot of people said that. That's how Justice League was. It was a Tim Burton to a Joel Schumacher. And you could tell. You could tell whose fingerprints were all over everything. A lot of people point out the lip. The lip was the biggest thing. You could tell. But again, people just tune themselves out. So again, I don't want to get berated this. Birds of Prey, their box office cum could end up around 200 to 205 million, which I predicted. If it makes about $200 million, it's a failure, but it's not a flop. Okay, it's not a flop. Their budget was reasonable, and it was around 85 million. So you're talking about 170 million, doubled their budget. On top of that, their marketing was not that much. I can tell you that it was not doubled. That's ludicrous. That's stupid. They're not gonna double their marketing budget. They're gonna basically maybe make about 50% to between 30 to 45% of whatever their production budget was, because there's no way they're gonna spend double what they made. I mean, what they spent already on a movie like this. That's stupid. So $200 million is not good. If it made Shazam level money, then I would say okay, that's actually not bad, because Shazam made over 300 million. So if it made around 350, I consider it good. Not a success, but it's good. This one was a failure, and it was mainly due to the fact of a lot of innuendos and hidden suggestive messages in the movie. I don't want to get into it. I thought it was still an entertaining movie. There was a lot of problems I had with it. Casting choices were pretty, but again, it was not that bad. It was a 6 to me. It was passable, but it wasn't what I would consider a true good DC film. But Margot Robbie, gorgeous, hot, sexy, everything. Great Harley Quinn. Great Harley Quinn. I can't wait to see more of it. I hope that in Suicide Squad we get a little bit more of that bouncy nature of her from James Gunn. We have to see how they do this, because it's going to seem very, very weird. And I think that this movie is going to be one of those, you're going to laugh at it. I think that's how they're going to do it. They're going to make you laugh at it. it's gonna be a dark comedy movie. It's gonna be darker than Suicide Squad. That's why I think the first Suicide Squad. That's what I think they're gonna do. Um, we have to see. So again, I will keep up with the news. I'll keep up with what's going on. All this information came to me flooded this whole weekend. I was busy with work. I could not do a lot of the videos. But here, like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys believe in what's going on here, hey, let me know. But also, just realize that I do have a day job and I have to concentrate on that. There's a lot of stuff going on. I am trying to figure out where I'm going to take my vacation so I can spend, drive away for maybe a day or two and then come back and then I can be able to do a couple of videos. And then I want to go see Hawk. I want to go see Hawk and his wife down in SoCal, and we can try to hang out. So but keep up. Let me know what you guys think. Also leave messages about, hey, what type of videos do you think I should make? Like, hey, should I do some more Snyder cuts? Should I go back to doing my DCU what if type of stories? My Birds of Prey, how I would do my Birds of Prey. That one is up. I want to do one for I did my one for Green Arrow. I don't know if I did my one for the Flash. It's been so long. I know I did one for Wonder Woman. Heck, what do you think I should do one for Aquaman? Because I know there's a lot of stuff going on with Aquaman, especially the whole Amber Heard situation. Me personally, if what she said is true, get her the heck off that film. It's gonna tank that film. Not a lot of people love Johnny Depp, and when they heard all this stuff was going on, they turned on Johnny Depp. But when they heard that everything he said was true, now people are having egg on their faces, and he's not getting a lot of support. Now, more negative press about him is coming out, but again, it's one of those things of if you support him, you support him. If you don't support him, you don't support him. But the thing is that Amber Heard completely jacked his career, just screwed his career up to make her career be better, and it made it worse. So let me know how you guys think about that. Should I do an Aquaman one? I would love to do an Aquaman one, but let me know and hit that bell. I will try to get that video out as soon as I possibly can. Wednesday and Tuesday. So tomorrow and Wednesday. Wednesday I'm completely off from work. Also, Tuesday I'm going to be very busy. There's a lot of things going on around my house, and also I got to go out. I got to go out and about. So I probably will not have a video out. I might have one out in the early mornings if I get up really early. But tonight I got to see what's going on. I'm very tired. Also, I gotta do a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, I gotta do some stuff around the house. So let me know what you guys think. You guys have a great one, and that Snyder Cut's coming. It's coming now because we're hearing a lot of rumblings. Suggested Reviews just had a good video out about it. I think he hit the right notes. I think that Chris Wong hit the right notes also. But we got to see. It seems that Zack Snyder is very positive because if a prize is you being on the set of his reshoots of Justice League and him doing his pickup shoots for Justice League, that means we're hearing something. I'm sorry, he must know something, and I think he's keeping it close to the chest until it's completely confirmed. And a lot of people are saying HBO Max. Me personally, no. Put it on the streaming service. Put it on the streaming service because that's all DC stuff. It is. It's all DC stuff. Why put it on HBO Max? Here's the thing. I understand the HBO Max. I understand completely. But the streaming service is there for a reasoning. It's not for just original content. It's also for all DC stuff. This Justice League should be the Snyder Cut would blow it up. A lot of people don't have it. I know that a lot of people overseas don't have it because of what's going on overseas. But here's the thing: I would say put it on HBO Max and put it on a streaming service because a lot of people are not going to get the HBO Max. It seems like Warner's wants to put it on the HBO Max to get people to jump on HBO Max. But then what's the purpose of the streaming service? What's the purpose of it? I would say put it on both. So then you're still getting you're kind of double dipping, and it's still within the labels. It's getting people who don't want to get the HBO Max. You don't want people to subscribe and then unsubscribe out of nowhere just for the month and then cancel it. You want people to stick with it. So I think that put it on HBO Max and then put it on a streaming service is a much better. You're getting it out to all your core audience, and the people that feel like, hey, I don't want to get HBO Max until I'm happy with it, then great. But right now we know that Doom Patrol is coming out with another season. We know Titans is going to do another season. We know that Supergirl, I mean not Supergirl, I mean Stargirl, but it's going to go on CW. But I think it's going to also be on the streaming service. But I'm not 100% on that. I think it's going to be only only on CW. And also, they're gonna try to do another season. They just announced another season of Harley Quinn. So I don't think that the streaming service is gonna go away. I think that they're trying to get more people on there. They got to create more original content. But the thing is that how they're going to create new original content is they keep throwing things on HBO Max. That Green Lantern show should be on the streaming service. That means they can do whatever they want. HBO has to relegate off of MPAA rules. Doesn't matter if it's all cable or not. Cable now is a little bit more accessible, so that means that they now got to follow MPAA rules regulations up to a certain point. But on streaming service, it's not that easy accessible. It really isn't. So I think that they don't have to follow it. They can show boobs, they can show T's, they can show A's. You can show sex. It won't matter. It's not that accessible. It's a streaming service. It's like Netflix. It really is. It's just like Netflix. So and Netflix is way more accessible, and they can show whatever the heck they want. They're not relegated to MPAA rules. They're not, because they are a service outside of the normal cable and the normal cable and networks. So they don't have to follow MPAA. They don't have channels. They just have, here's one section, here's another section, here's a genre, here's another genre. They don't have to follow MPAA rules. They, not all of them. They do have to follow MPAA rules to give you what it is. That's one big gigantic rule. That's fine, but they're not relegated to say, okay, after 8 o'clock you can show this because that's after curfew. No, they don't have to do that at all. Not at all. They can show a woman's full body all naked. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They could do strong sexual content almost to the point of NC-17. It doesn't matter. They're not relegated to freaking MPAA rules that way. And so it's the streaming service. Hence why that Harley Quinn movie is a little bit more gratuitous than it's supposed to be. A lot of people love it. I don't like the animation, and I don't like a lot of the voice acting. It feels more like to me, a darker, gorier version of Adam West Batman, and I'm good with that. I grew up with that. I can respect it, but I don't have to appreciate it. I'm good. I can move on from it. So sorry for making this too long. You guys have a great one, and that Snyder Cut is coming. You have a great day. Bye.